Hey guys, in this video I am joined by Howard, who comes with 20 years of project management experience specifically in the telecom and network implementation space. He has recently got himself the PMP certification, and I asked him, why should someone get themselves the PMP certification?
Let's say you are someone who is doing project management, you're handling your projects, you're doing everything just fine. Why should you get yourselves the PMP certification? Why should someone get PMP certified?
Well, that's a really good question. I think I could probably speak from a first-hand example there because I've been working on projects as a project manager, and I have a Prince2 certification.
Oh, okay.
And but I don't think I really needed it in my role. So I mean, I have my Prince2 certification. I haven't particularly used it.
Okay.
And so I think most project managers, they focus on execution. So it's all about,
Right.
we've got a target, we've got a customer, and we need to deliver this project, and we just do it. And that doesn't mean we're doing it in the right way.
Right.
And so we're not necessarily following best practice. We're not necessarily doing team development. We're just doing it. And I think one of the good things about studying for the PMP is that it gives you an idea of how you should be doing it. I think that's an important distinction there, right? So these are lots of things you can learn about how the best practice and how you're currently doing it. It can be completely wrong. You might be delivering, you might be getting results, but it's probably more luck. And there'll be situations where you're not delivering and you won't know why. But if you study the PMI PIN book and you get the exam, you'll have a much better way of planning your project. So I think it encourages you. I mean, the PIN book is a result of lots of expert involvement, expert input. So you're getting all of that knowledge and you're able to apply it to projects. So it makes you a better project manager, really. I mean, anyone can become a project manager. Doesn't mean they're doing it in the right way. So I think it's a really good way to realign yourself with the the best ways to manage projects, really.
Right. Yeah, I think I'll just add one more thing here because it hit me when you spoke about how the experts are involved and in the creation of PMBOK guide and all. I think one other thing that PMP does is it introduces you to the global project management language. So you are speaking the language of global project management, whichever company organization that you go to, whichever stakeholder that you speak to, everyone's speaking the same language if they understand PMP. I think that's also one of the biggest advantage of.
I agree. I can just add to that, actually. I mean, I know you've done a video on comparing Prince2 and PMP, but Prince2 does not at any point really look at things like earned value. It doesn't really talk about in depth about scheduling, how you schedule, and it doesn't talk about activity sequence diagramming, any of that. So there's a lot of really important areas within Prince2 which are not covered, and which are very important. I mean, if you haven't done the PMP, how do you do an assessment of your progress? Is it just traffic light system? Red, amber, green, or you're going to use earned value, right? I mean, which would you prefer? So, I mean, I have a particular opinion on the difference between Prince2 and PMP, and I know which one I prefer, right? But so yeah, I mean, it teaches you a much greater number of skills, I think.
I think one other thing is you beautifully put it together when you mentioned all the areas that Prince2 doesn't cover. But I think one other thing, just to add on to that, is I think Prince2 doesn't necessarily hold the project manager accountable in various aspects of the project, right? You're not doing EVM, you're not doing a lot of stuff that you're actually doing in PMP. Whereas in Prince2, you're not. I just personally felt that you are not accountable for the project as much as you are when you are a PMP certified and you are expected to run the project around PMP and what PMP BOK defines it to be.
My view is that Prince2 is more suited for smaller projects, and I think PMP is more suited for like your large stuff, really, right? Depends what you really want,
And there's an ongoing, I mean, if you go to some of the online forums, they usually debate about how UK prefers Prince2 since it's their certification and US prefers PMP since it's theirs. But you being someone from London and speaking for PMP is actually a bit of a surprise for me.
Well, I also think, yeah, I don't know why that is, but I mean, yeah, I can compare both, and I think PMP is much better. But yeah, it's strange. I think the entrance criteria to Prince2 is much less in terms of PMP, right? So there's no entrance criteria for Prince2. You can essentially buy the book, and then you can study for it, and you can pass, right? And so they don't check your background. They don't check how much experience you have. They don't check, as far as I think you need to do some kind of recertification, a bit like PDUs and PMP. But yeah, incomparable. I think Prince2 is a good way for someone starting their career. It's a good thing. I think if you're an experienced project manager, you should be looking at PMP, in my view.
Yeah. So I had one person from Switzerland. We had an interview, and he was PGMP, and we were talking about PGMP and the MSP, which is like the PGMP's cousin for just like PMP, you have Prince2, so PGMP has MSP. So I was speaking to him, and he said, do not do an either or between PGMP and MSP. And I think that's pretty much applicable to PMP and Prince2 as well. That you should not do an either or. Go ahead, do both of them. There's good in both.
I agree. And obviously, some organisations are going to be Prince2 focused, and some are going to be. So if you have both, you're going to be more, more employable for certain employees, certain companies. Right?
All right, I hope you got value out of this video, and I would appreciate a thumbs up if you did. Do you have a question for Howard? Feel free to drop it in the comments, and I will try to get him on board again. As always, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and check out pmclounge.com, your #1 free PMP resource. Thank you and have a nice day.